Although it may have seemed that when Anakin Skywalker joined the dark side to become Darth Vader, that he also joined the Sith Order to become Darth Sidious' apprentice, Vader's initial plan did not originally see him forming an alliance with Sidious or the Sith. While Vader might have pledged himself to Sidious's teachings to learn how to save Padme, all of this was a deception orchestrated by Vader, where he originally planned to remove Sidious from power and likely not even carry on the traditions of the Sith Order. To be sure, Vader was still allied with the dark side of the Force at this point within Palpatine's office, and leading up to the events on Mustafar, with his actions at the Jedi Temple clearly demonstrating that. But while committed to the dark side, the Revenge of the Sith novelization and the novel Dark Lord: The Rise of Darth Vader show that initially, Vader was not committed to Sidious or the Sith. In this video, I want to look at the Legends lore that demonstrates how Vader initially refused to ally with Sidious and the Sith despite choosing the path of the dark side, why this was, and how Vader would initially change his initial plan to form an alliance with both Sidious and the Sith Order. Despite it appearing that Vader was initially committed to the Sith in Episode 3, Vader was furious at Sidious when it was revealed he was the Sith Lord the Jedi had been searching for over a decade. More specifically, Vader couldn't ignore the fact that Sidious had been manipulating him for years, both prior to and during the Clone War. By the time Vader was sent to Mustafar, he'd already formulated his plan for the future. He would continue to act as if he was the apprentice of Sidious and allied to the Sith Order, until Sidious shared with him the secret to immortality discovered by Darth Plagueis. But once Vader obtained this ability to save Padme, he would then eliminate Sidious and overthrow him. And Vader was completely confident that he would be able to succeed in doing so, having already felt his power and strength growing on Mustafar. As explained within the novel Dark Lord: The Rise of Darth Vader, Vader had always initially intended to seek revenge upon Sidious during the earliest moments on his path with the dark side, and didn't consider himself allied to Sidious or the Sith. For Vader, the only reason why he agreed to attack the Jedi Temple and help carry out Order 66 was because he believed the Jedi would never understand his decision to use the dark side to save Padme, or his decision to save Sidious instead of Jedi Master Mace Windu. In this way, these actions taken by Vader were in no way a demonstration of his commitment to Sidious or the Sith, and instead represented Vader doing everything he could to save Padme. During the events of Episode 3, at least up until his realization that Padme hadn't survived following his defeat to Obi-Wan, Vader's original plan was to use the dark side only to save Padme, and not ally directly with Sidious or the Sith. So why did Vader's path change where he would ultimately do exactly the opposite, allying himself with Sidious as his apprentice and dedicating himself to the Sith Order? First, it of course can't be ignored that a significant factor in this decision was the fact that Padme died during Episode 3, where his original plan called for Vader to focus on doing whatever it took to save Padme. This wasn't a factor following her death. In comparison to the life of Anakin, Vader had nothing left after Mustafar. Not only that, while Vader had been extremely confident in his ability to defeat Sidious just prior to his defeat to Obi-Wan, that was no longer the case once he was forced to rely on his suit and cybernetics. In another Legends novel, The Rise and Fall of Darth Vader, Vader was forced to make a tough conclusion after Mustafar. Because of his cybernetics, not only would he never be able to produce Sith lightning, but he would always be vulnerable to it, and therefore, the Emperor would always be more powerful than him. These are two important factors to the change in Vader's original path, but I think even more important are the actions of Darth Sidious himself. Sidious had anticipated that Vader would have likely attempted to kill him had he succeeded in defeating Obi-Wan on Mustafar, and therefore attempted to show Vader the value in being allied both to him as Sidious's apprentice and to the Sith Order in the immediate aftermath of Episode 3. Sidious committed himself to reawaken the incredible power within Vader, particularly after his decision to join the dark side. Sidious promised Vader only weeks after Episode 3 that despite whatever his original plan might have been, all his apprentice would need was to ally himself to the Sith Order to further his power with the dark side of the Force. That is, while Vader might have initially planned to utilize the dark side to save Padme, there was another path before him, a path of power that could only be achieved through Sidious and the Sith. A few months after Episode 3, Vader would come to fully understand and accept the path that Sidious promised could be achieved through the Sith, having felt the power of the dark side in a way where he felt invulnerable, something he'd never experienced before. Although it took Vader months, in the aftermath of Episode 3, he recognized he now wanted power, and his path to power was only through Sidious and the Sith Order, demonstrating just how much he changed his original plan formulated during the events of Revenge of the Sith. There is a bit more to Vader getting past his initial fury at Sidious, which we'll discuss in an upcoming video. But I wanted this video to show that despite how it appears in Episode 3, and although Vader would ultimately be known for his allegiance to Sidious and the Sith, he initially had no plans to ally with either, instead planning only to use the dark side to obtain a way in which to save Padme, at which point he would have eliminated Sidious. So there we have it, how Vader initially never planned to ally with Sidious and the Sith even after joining the dark side. Thank you very much to all of the Patreon members of Star Wars Reading Club, as your support is so greatly appreciated. You can find all of our social media links and a link to our Star Wars gaming channel in the description below for updates and even more Star Wars content. We love making these videos, so why not subscribe for more fun Star Wars theories and discussions. Also, if you enjoyed the video, think about giving a like or leaving a comment. If not for me, for it working out the same way in the end anyway.